Hello, this is Paul CHEK, and welcome to my blog on video. Yes, smooth and easy. It takes a lot of time and energy to do all that typing, you know. But anyhow, one of the most common questions I get is, hey, Paul CHEK, how come you told us in your book How to Eat, Move, and Be Healthy, never to skip meals, eat 3 meals a day, and then in other places you talk about fasting yourself, and you say some people don't need to eat breakfast, la-di-da. I'm confused. Well, one, usually if you pay attention to what I'm saying in its completeness, I typically explain why I'm saying those things, but due to the love of sound bites and passing information on, people tend to get confused. So this morning, I'm going to attempt to clear that up smoothly and efficiently for you so you all understand what I'm really suggesting. Here's 7 key things that we need to pay attention to first. There's many more I could talk about, but they get too technical, and these are the most important things to look at with regard to meal spacing. Number 1, are you actually hungry? Nobody should eat if they're not hungry unless they're being treated for chemotherapy or there's some medical reason or known reason, such as a drug reaction, that they're not going to be hungry, and if they don't encourage those people to eat, then they start losing body weight and getting weaker and sicker. So as a general rule of thumb, if you're not hungry, your body does not want more food. Remember, food is not only a lot of work for the body, but today food usually means a lot of toxins coming into the body. So you have not just the food issue to deal with, but if your body cannot clear the toxins coming in from your last meal or previous meals, you can overwhelm the body with toxins and it will not want you to eat, and therefore shut your hunger mechanism down so you don't feel hungry. So in a nutshell, unless you have a medical reason or a known physiological reason to eat a meal, when you don't feel hungry, you should not eat. If you do not feel hungry, you should wait until you naturally feel hungry. And there are people that, as I will show in a second, don't feel hungry, especially in the morning. So that comes to number 2, eating right for your either metabolic type or my own system. It's primal pattern diet typing, which is based on the genetic roots from where your family trees come from and what are the environmental influences. For example, an Eskimo has a lot different genetic roots and a lot different environment than a Hawaiian. So they're going to have complete different needs. An Eskimo is going to have a high need for fat and protein, and a Hawaiian is going to have a high natural need for plant source foods due to the environment. Amongst those, you have the primal pattern types, which I call the polar types, which equals a protein type. The equator types in my system would be similar to a carbo type, and a mixed type in the Walcott system would be somebody who eats like a equator type one day and a polar type the next meal or the next day, and varies between them. Now, the carbo types in the Walcott system can also be sympathetically or parasympathetically dominant, as all the types can, and the carbo types, particularly with a sympathetic dominance, which means their sympathetic nervous system is the dominant branch of their nervous system, have a high tendency not to want to eat breakfast. It is just part of the makeup of those individuals. I could give you a long string of reasons why that probably is, but most of them would be very technical and unnecessary. Again, if you don't feel hungry, particularly if you are a carbo type or a carbo type with a sympathetic dominance, then eat as you feel you need to eat, and as long as you're maintaining a healthy body mass and feeling good and feeling like you got enough energy, you're doing the right thing. Next, if you're constipated. If you are constipated, you will back food resources all the way through the gut right up to your stomach. Many of the people that I've seen for gastrointestinal reflux, burping up their food and having stomach acids come up into their throat, are severely constipated and have poor hydrochloric acid production. So literally, remember, you're eating about 21 meals a week, 3 meals a day, 7 days a week. So if you're not pooping out an equivalent of a meal for everyone that's coming in, it's pretty easy to see you got a traffic jam. So if the body cannot relieve itself of toxins and foods at the pace it's coming in, it shuts the hunger mechanism down. Because if that food sits in the gut, it will over-ferment, rot, and can poison the body. A good book to read about those issues is Dr. Jensen's Guide to Better Bowel Care by Dr. Bernard Jensen. It gives you great explanations of that. So if you're having a hard time eating breakfast, but you otherwise think based on this information you should be, evaluate whether or not you're constipated. You can read all about that in my book, How to Eat, Move, and Be Healthy. Next, are you stressed? There's two primary types of stress reaction according to current research. The extrovert tends to react in an extroverted way. Everything speeds up and winds up in them. So sometimes people that are under stress that are extroverted tend to eat more food to compensate for the stress. The introverts tend to shut down on the inside, and instead of getting high blood pressure, high heart rate, higher breathing rates, they have lower blood pressure, lower heart rates, and slower breathing rates, and they lock down, which shuts off the digestive eliminative system significantly, causing them to not want to eat. So we have to remember that stress reactions can either shut the digestive mechanism and the hunger mechanism down or speed it up. Honor what's happening to you. If you're being shut down, it means that your body's conserving energy and trying to deal with other things. So forcing food in there can add another form of stress that the body can't handle. And when you're under high stress, either way you go, it usually indicates less efficiency of digestion and elimination. Medical drugs. Many medical drugs disrupt the normal hunger perceptual faculty, or what's called the apostat centers in the brain, and there's many chemical side effects that cause you to not feel your normal hunger. So you always have to look at the side effects of medical drugs as well as all these other things. Signs of toxicity. There's many signs of toxicity, and the more signs of toxicity you have, the more likely you are to not have normal meal spacing or the normal urge to eat. In Dr. Jensen's Guide to Better Bowel Care, there's a toxicity screening for what's called auto or self-intoxication. There's up to 49 symptoms. I've had patients with every one of them. Some of the symptoms are skin problems, bad breath, smelly sweat, bad smelling stools, goo in your eyes, too much phlegm in your nose and throat, too much earwax in the ears, pimples, boils, and the list just goes on. Hair problems, poor quality hair, poor quality nails, etc., etc. So look in the book and you'll see many of the indicators. So toxicity is a factor. 7, sleep cycles disrupted. Are you getting to bed on time? Follow my book, Eat, Move, and Be Healthy. If you're not getting to bed on time, it can disrupt your normal digestion and elimination cycles. All your glands and organs work on a circadian rhythm, and if our meal times and meal spacing gets disrupted or our hormonal system gets disrupted, it can disrupt our normal hunger mechanism. Jet travel can screw that all up because you might actually be sitting in London at breakfast time when for you it's really about 3 o'clock in the morning, so everyone else is eating and you're not hungry. At that point, you can either stress your body by putting food, or you may need to put food in to help make the conversion. There's multiple factors here. Like I said, this is just the basics. Coffee and stimulants after 3 o'clock in the afternoon overexcites the sympathetic nervous system and can disrupt digestion and elimination rhythms, leading to a backup and leading to an imbalance or a lack of normal perception of hunger. So you can get a wide variety of things. When you start getting circadian cycles, the whole system kind of goes haywire. So in conclusion, there's those 7 factors to address. When I'm fasting to give the system a break, and I'm nourishing myself either through very concentrated teas, herbal extracts, breath, movement, things that are supportive, but I'm basically giving my body a rest from all the work of digesting and eliminating, but I'm not starving the body. Also, sometimes it is good to let yourself go a little hungry for a while because it helps starve parasites and it gives the body more time to clean toxins and waste out of the body. So I like doing, if I can, my goal is to do one mini fast a week where I do not eat breakfast or lunch. I go through the day on tea, such as yogi fasting tea, or a light fresh squeezed juice with a little water added to it so it doesn't overwhelm me with sugar. And then I eat in the evening when I'm naturally hungry and ready to come off the fast, and I try to not eat too heavy on the meat, because after missing a couple of meals it can feel like a brick sitting in your gut. So you just slowly ease into it and be careful not to overeat. You can easily feel so hungry at the end of the day you just eat 3 meals at once and then create more stress on the system. So choose the amount of food you're going to eat, put it on your plate, and do not eat any more than that. That will be enough to get you through the night, then return to your normal cycle. That should address the issues of meal spacing. That was a quick little lesson. Hope you got the key points. There's lots more in my book, my ebook, The Last 4 Doctors You'll Ever Need How to Get Healthy Now. My book, How to Eat, Move, and Be Healthy. And there's a variety of things I put on the internet, articles, all sorts of stuff. And I hope you enjoyed my little video today. I'll see you maybe Monday for something new and interesting. Bye-bye.